Okay, Hare Krishna, good evening, namaskars to all of you today. Today is a very special day, 15th August, our 80th Independence Day. And we as devotees, we not only want to celebrate the independence from the political standpoint of view or geographical stand of view, but we would also like to celebrate the real freedom, that is a spiritual freedom. That's what I posted today, quoting Prabhupada from so many different verses that Prabhupada has highlighted this point. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, before he took shelter of his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Sarji Thakur Prabhupada, our Prabhupada was highly inclined towards uh, fighting for the nation. He was part of the movement of Subhash Chandra Bose, and then he was fighting for the freedom struggle movement, so to say. And then when he met Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur convinced him that this type of freedom will come and go. Today there is somebody taking away your freedom. Tomorrow you'll get that freedom. Then somebody else will take away that freedom also. So in this material world, these are all very, very predicted and common also. So then the real freedom that anybody intelligent man should look for is freedom from birth, death, old age, and disease. That is the real freedom. That is freedom from the pangs of the three modes of material nature. And once Prabhupada was totally convinced about this argument, he took up to devotional practice very seriously, and he gave up the other angle of thinking. And then the whole rest of the thing is history. Had Prabhupada not taken that drastic action at that time, what would be our position? We would not know what the real freedom, what the real independence is. So we are so like a frog in the well that for small, small things, we think that is the biggest thing that is available for us. Whereas there is something more beyond this, and which is much, much, much bigger, that is awaiting us. And that our ignorance is actually preventing us. Sometimes we get some little knowledge here and there, we feel awakened. And again, when we are in the influence of the outside world, we get trapped and we forget that, the real purpose and meaning of human life. And then we continue life as it is. So it's very, very important for us to remind ourselves again and again that why we are in this world, what is our purpose, what is our goal, where we want to go from here. And this is the purpose of our trying to share knowledge with each other through Gita Amritam Rasamalayam. As you can see, this train Goloka Express is going from material world to spiritual world on a land route. It doesn't have to fly. It is purely changing our consciousness. So when we started before the introduction, it was we assembled together with the material consciousness, and gradually, station by station, we are purifying our senses. We are purifying our consciousness. We are purifying our intelligence. Virtually everything, inside, outside, every purification is happening through this weekly association of Gitamrit Rasamalayam, and under which we are making the systematic study of Bhagavad Gita. Such a wonderful opportunity we are getting, each one of us, to discuss this, and relish it. Because we can relish it only when we imbibe it, when when it goes deep into our heart. Only then it is possible. So here now today, as we are concluding this ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is going to reveal. We are in the fourth section of the ninth chapter. Ninth chapter has got four sections, so we are in the fourth section. Under that, Krishna is revealing the glories of pure bhakti, which is essentially the theme for today: political freedom to spiritual freedom. So we should not be stuck only at the ground level. We are like pilots having the license to fly the plane. But if we keep on circulating the aerodrome without flying, then that license will be taken away from us, and we'll be given a license of four-wheeler. Then we are fit for the four-wheeler license only. So right now we have got the license to fly. And unfortunately, we are flying. We are not flying. We are just roaming around in the aerodrome because we are stuck in the political freedom. We want to understand the political freedom. We pay tributes to all the great freedom fighters. We salute them. But ultimately, we want to, our goal doesn't end here. Our goal is to go for higher and higher freedom, that is spiritual freedom. And that is what we are humbly trying to make an attempt through this sessions of our weekly sessions of systematic study of Bhagavad Gita. So moving forward, okay. Before I begin, I take blessings from my spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Swarupa Damodar Swami Maharaj, also known as Dr. T.D. Singh in the scientific circle. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Swarupa Damodar Swami Nityanamine Namasad Bhaktamani Manipur Udbhavaya Cha Srila Prabhupada Lasatavani Pracharine Ratayate. I also seek the blessings of uh, his guru, founder Acharya of ISKCON, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And had Prabhupada not started this movement, we would not be discussing and sitting and discussing all these topics. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitya Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarni Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So with this blessings and the blessings of all of you sitting on the other side, please pray for me so that I'm able to speak something for today's concluding verses of this particular chapter. And so the chapter is called Rajavidya Rajaguyam. Uh, and we covered a lot of things here, but I would like to do a very, very short revision so that we are focused on the essence of this chapter. We don't want to think of anything beyond what we studied in earlier chapter. Just focus. So even if somebody is joining today for the first time, let's say, he will get something to take home. So this chapter, as we know, has got 34. Sorry, this chapter has got 34 verses. And 34 verses we are covering in 6 sessions, session 50 to session 55. Today we are on session 55. Verses 1 to 3, which highlighted when before Krishna is revealing this knowledge, he wanted to glorify the knowledge of bhakti. So session 50 was done. So verses 1, 2, and 3, Amarendra Prabhu took this Golden Jubilee session. And in this particular section, of that is section 1, which is verses 1 to 3, basically Krishna told us why this is actually a Guhya knowledge. I mean, this basically says it's Guhya Tamam. So it is a most confidential knowledge. And also he said the qualification to receive this knowledge, which Arjuna is possessing, that's why he's sharing with Arjuna, is Anasuya way. Anasuya way means he was non-envious in his heart towards Krishna. And therefore he gave him the complete Jnanam and Vijnanam. Then Krishna went on to cover in verse number 2 the 8 different glories, complete 8 different glories of this particular knowledge, which is called as Rajavidya. So Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram, Idamuttamam, Pratyakshavagamam, Dharmyam, then what? So Susukam, Kartum, Avyayam. So like that, 8 different types of adjectives he covered, and he said that I'm going to speak now of this knowledge, which is the most topmost of all the knowledge. It's the most confidential. It is very pure, and it's a topmost. And so you have to somehow receive this knowledge. It's a direct perception, and direct perception comes through self-realization. And it is not something that we read a novel and we understood. No, this is a realized knowledge. That is what, and through that you can perfect your dharma. That is religion itself. You can perfect. And further, he said that this is susukam. So sukam is happiness. Susukam is like bliss, joy, everlasting. Kartum avyayam. It is everlasting. So this is the importance of this knowledge that we are studying in this passage. And then he also said one of the criteria for this is that one should be faithful. Because if you are not faithful, sorry, if you are not faithful, then Krishna is not interested in sharing this knowledge. So that is he covered under verse number 3. Then from we did session number 51, which is also the section 2, that is verses from 4 to 10. So under that section, basically we covered few verses. So here Krishna highlighted what is his relationship with this material world. Because we should know we are talking of Krishna, 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 but what is the connection? What is the relationship? Is it sufficient just to say that he is God? So what other? So here Krishna shares the Aishwarya Jnana. That means something which is very very supreme knowledge. At the same time, it is mystic. Mystic is something which we cannot see with our material eyes. Okay, and so that is it, and that he explains through different verses from 4 to 10. And one of the important things he said was Maya Tatam Idam Sarvam Jagat Avyakta Murtiyam. That means I am present in this material world as my energy, and energy doesn't have a form. Energy cannot be seen, just like you cannot see the air. You cannot see some of the subtle elements. You cannot see even your own mind we cannot see. So what to speak? So Krishna, he says, in this material world, I am present as my energy, and hence it is not visible to our material eyes. And he also explains the connection also by saying that how the, for example, the in a tree, the birds are sitting. So the birds are depend upon the tree. The tree is not dependent upon us. Okay, and on the birds. So or similarly, the planets and the jivas, that is all of us, are depend upon Krishna. But Krishna doesn't depend upon us. He is completely swarat, independent. Hmm? And similarly, he gives a nice analogy of the wind. Yada yada akasha sito nityam vayuhu. Sarvatra go. So that means the Vayu, that is wind, travels all over the space in the Akash, but it cannot go beyond that space. So the limit is that space, that is Akash. The mighty wind is going everywhere. So like that, he says, Sarva Bhutani, all the living beings who are created by me, whether it is in land or sea or whatever, trees, mountains, or any other country, etc. They all Matstani, Sarva Bhutani. So they are all actually staying with the rest within me. Okay, and then he goes on to say how this material nature has been created by him. So he expands himself into different forms of Vishnu, and that is first is Karno Dakshaya Vishnu, and then he creates the from his pores all the universes are coming out, and in each of this universe he further expands and enters as Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu, and then all the jivas are created. Then each jiva is entering as Shiro Dakshaya Vishnu, like sitting in the area of our heart. So, and that way, and because he's sitting as Paramatma in our heart, and not only in our, it's he, all the living beings, Sarva Bhutatma. That means, so he is completely neutral. He doesn't show any discrimination like a high court judge. He gave an example like that, like a high court judge. Then we went to section number 3, that is 11 to 25. It's a big section where different kinds of worshippers were covered, and this was covered under in two sessions, session 52 and session 53. So here he mentioned that if somebody is not interested to know about me, or if somebody cannot understand my form as a human being when I came, they are fools. He said very clearly, point blank, they are fools. They cannot understand me. So, avajananti na muda, avajananti ma muda. They are completely muda. So they don't understand. Is there an echo coming by any chance, or is it okay? I'm hearing some echo from somewhere. Okay.
No echo, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, so he says that these people are fools, and because they are fools, they are subjected to illusion, bewilderment, and all those things. And once they are bewildered, they get attracted to atheistic views, they get attracted to demonic views, and as a result, their life is completely virtha. They fall down. They have lost their purpose of life. So we have to be very careful and guard ourselves. That's why Krishna is telling this. And then he says there are another type of people who are super great, like they are Mahatmas. Mahatmas to Mam Partha. Why they are super? They are super great because Daivim Prakritim Ashrita, they take shelter of the internal energy of the Lord, which is Srimati Radharani. So that is their greatness because they have understood the tattva. They have understood that, so they take shelter. So therefore, they are great. And because they have understood the tattva, they are all the time doing bhajan in different ways. Satatam kirtayanto mam. And they do that with dhrida vrata, with full determination, because they don't want to lose this valuable opportunity of this human form of life. Because once this is lost, it is gone. Then again, our chance will come in the next life, and we are not sure whether we'll be born as a human being or animal or some other species. And if we are born in the human being, then whether we'll be born in a conducive family or in a demonic family or in some other family. So it's all very very dicey. So when we get a chance, as we are doing now, bodhayanta parasparam, we are sitting and discussing. So we have to really take advantage of this opportunity. So in this connection, Krishna says, of the people who are trying to know me, there are three types of jnanis. People who try to know him are jnanis. So in that, there are three types. One is ekatvena, people who worship. They understand the soul, and they think that soul itself is God. And in the process, they start worshipping themselves as God, which is very very dangerous, and it's a wrong way of worshipping also. Then prataktvena, he mentioned the second category of people. So prataktvena are people who are indirectly worshipping Krishna through the devatas, because they wanted small things to be fulfilled, benedictions. So they worship devatas through various types of yagyas. And the third category of jnanis, Krishna is saying, is Vishwato Mukham. That is people who worship the entire creation or the universe as God. So nothing wrong in the third type, but only thing is there is something beyond that. Krishna says, I am beyond this. And the beyond this means as a Bhagwan, I can reciprocate with you. But for that, we have to develop the understanding of bhakti. So that is where we actually ended the section 3. And then Krishna also warns the people who worship, that is Prataktvena type of people who worship the devatas, are actually indirectly worshipping him. But what happens is they don't come to him. They worship the devatas, and then they end up going into the Indraloka or Swargaloka, these heavenly planets. And there they have somaras, have a nice extension of lifetime, nice comforts, everything they enjoy, super enjoyment. But this will be working till the time only their punya lasts. That means they have accrued lot of credits in their bank balance, and this is getting exhausted. When it is getting exhausted and completely zero, then Shine Punya Martya. They again come back to the Earth planet. So what's the big deal? For all you know, we must have been in that planets in some of our previous lives, and we have come back to in this planet to do something which we forgot to do last time or we missed doing last time. So higher intelligence should tell us that now is the chance for us. So then Krishna gradually completes the section and goes to the section of real bhakti. Ananya chintayanto mam ye jana pari upasate. Tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. So this he says very, very clearly, that I will preserve, all the good things that you already have, and I shall provide what you are lacking. What more we want? We are going to different gurus, we are going to different institutions to learn and become an expert. And here, Krishna, as a mother and father of all gurus, as a mother and father of all the yonis, he is saying that you just come to me, you just pray to me. I shall preserve what you have. I shall protect what you have, and I shall provide what is missing in you. Yogakshemam Vahamyam. And so in this way, we can perfect our human life, and that is the goal. And finally, we came to the last section, section 4, which was started last week by His Grace Sukumar Krishna Prabhu, and he did session number 54, where he discussed. We started discussing the glories of pure bhakti, and we continue that in session 55, because from verses 26 to 34 is we are really coming into the condensed form of milk. Milk is boiling. Now it has become like a condensed form, ready for a kheer. So that form is bhakti. So that is where we are, and therefore in section 4 that we are discussing, The important things to remember is Krishna talks about very simple way of worshipping me. Very simple way. He said in 26, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Praishyati Tadaham Bhakti Upaharatam Asnami Priyatatmanaha. So this is very simple. This doesn't have any limitations or boundaries that I have to perform this elaborate yagya, need pure ghee, all the this yagya patras and all those things, proper vastra, see, nothing is required. Because anyway, if you try that way also, everything is contaminated these days in the world. So there's no point. So here he says, whether whatever being your status, whether a rich person or a poor person, you just offer me with love these four, five things. Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. A leaf, a flower, a fruit, and water. But you offer these things to me with love. Yome bhaktya praishchati tadaham bhakti upartam. So in this verse, bhakti is coming two times. That means Krishna is emphasizing and re-emphasizing that only through bhakti I can be understood. I can, you can get.
Whiteboard. Whiteboard.
Oh, sorry,
Where is whiteboard?
Janvi and Janishya. They are in a blissful service of in ISKCON Hyderabad. So all of them are probably together. Okay, so simple way to worship bhakti. Anybody can perform with whatever activities you do. Pattam, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. The best example we can think of this is if you are absorbed in this worship, then Krishna will accept whatever you are giving him. What is important is the intention more than the action, intention. The best example is, we come here from Shastras, Vidurani, the wife of Vidura. Once Krishna was invited by Duryodhan for lunch, but Krishna refused to go because there has to be two reasons. If somebody is inviting you and you have to go and honor them at their place, there has to be two reasons. One is you have to either feel hungry. Okay. Second reason is you have to have, there has to be an affection between the two of us. If you are inviting me, then you should have an affection for me. I should have an affection for you. And the first reason is I should feel hungry. If either of them or both of them are not present, then that invitation can be declined. So Krishna declined this invitation of Duryodhan, much to the annoyance of Duryodhan. On the other hand, when Vidura invited Krishna for lunch, Krishna readily accepted because they had a beautiful, loving affection, and so that one criteria fulfilled. So Krishna went. Now, what happened when he went? Unfortunately, Vidura was not present when Krishna went. Only Vidurani was there, his wife, and she was so astonished seeing Krishna, that Krishna has come to our place, and in that astonishment, she wanted to feed bananas. She wanted to offer banana to Krishna. She took banana. She peeled the banana. Instead of giving the banana, she threw the banana and she gave the peel to Krishna. She gave the peel, and not once. She kept on giving this one banana after another banana, one leaf after another banana leaf, one leaf after another banana leaf, and she was throwing the banana. And Krishna was gracefully accepting it and honoring it, huh? Because she wanted to bless. He saw the devotional aspect of Vidurani and he took that bhav. That is the important thing. Has anybody tried to eat a banana leaf anytime? Please try. There will be no taste in banana leaf. If you eat it just raw like that, no taste. But Krishna accepted. That was his greatness. So this is what we have to understand from this particular mood of bhakti. Okay, and then of course one of the important verses that was highlighted by Prabhuji last week was Yat karosi, yat ashnasi, yat josi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, madarpanam, tat kurusva, madarpanam. So this is a verse. See, once we understand the previous verse where Krishna says Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, then somebody will have different questions. Oh, I am doing this work, I am doing that work, I have no time for you, Krishna. How can I do it? Maybe I understood what you said, but I'll do it for retirement age, during retirement time. So here Krishna further makes it simple. He says, Yat Karosi, whatever you do, activities, sitting, walking, talking, going to office, or cooking in the kitchen, doing any that, do it as an offering to me. Just remember me and do it. Yet, yes, asnasis, whatever you are eating, honor, give it to me first as boga, then you accept that as a prasad and honor it. Yet, asnasi. Yet, josi, whatever you want to offer, dadasi, whatever you want to give as charity, instead of doing philanthropy work, they will give you some pious thing. Instead of doing that, you do it as an offering to spread Krishna consciousness. That way, you're spiritualizing even your Lakshmi, what you're having completely. Yet tapasyasi kaunteya, austerity. Sometimes people do a lot of austerity in the name of this puja, Kali puja, and so many other things. They do austerity. In fact, there is one festival in South India which is done by some class of society where they pierce from this part of the cheeks and they remove from this part, hmm, and then they go on a procession. It's an austerity, it's a tapasya, it's a torture to please some demigods. But all that is not required. Krishna says just follow Ekadashi Vrata. Ekadashi Vrata for us is also an austerity. But we are doing it for what? We are just doing it for the, because Krishna said you do it. So we are just following that, like Ekadashi Vrata. If you follow that, that's an austerity. So like that, if you do systematically, yat karosi, yat ashnasi, yat josi, dadasi, yat. So whatever we are doing tapasya, kauntyasi, do it as a madarpanam. Do it as an offering to me, Krishna says. So in this way, there is no need to make any significant change in our life. That's what Krishna is trying to highlight. Krishna consciousness is not to remove anything from your life. Krishna consciousness means to add Krishna in your life, not to subtract anything what you have. When you add Krishna, Krishna will give that intelligence for you to slowly subtract. Like you leave tea, coffee, you leave smoking, you leave drinking, you leave non-veg. All those things slowly will go away. But it is not a precursor for you, and only then I'll leave this. I have to first practice, leave this, then only I'll come to Krishna. No. If you are hearing me, if you are hearing any Krishna Katha, directly immerse yourself. Everything else will automatically go away. That is what Krishna is trying to convey through this verse. Because important thing is we should remove two important considerations that we all the time have. That is, we are the doers and we are the enjoyers. This doership and enjoyership comes when we remove Krishna from the center. The moment we bring Krishna in the center and do the same activities, hey Krishna, I am doing this for you, then Krishna is a doer, we are only a puppet. Then Krishna is the enjoyer, we are only being enjoyed. That is what Krishna wants. So that is the essence of Krishna consciousness. This Prabhuji covered last week. And with that, let's begin our today's journey with verse number 29, which is again continuing the glories of devotional service. Today I was determined somehow to complete everything by 8:15, but I've taken half an hour. But it was not a recap. I did a revision actually. In one sense, sometimes I feel it is good because sometimes, in a week, many things we get involved in and we forget. So many things that we discussed. At that time, we remember everything. This applies to me also. So I thought by doing a revision, I'll remind myself what we have studied till now and where we have to start for today. Okay, so with this, we begin for today's first verse, that is 9.29, and you all can chant this with me with your mics muted. Okay, so I'll recite this very beautiful verse. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshasti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mahi te teshu chapyaham. It's a beautiful now Krishna is taking us deep into bhakti. After explaining the previous two verses of what he's expecting out of us, now here he's saying, first he's saying, Samom sarva bhuteshu, Samom sarva bhute name dvesho astina priya. So from the first two lines, it appears that Krishna is not partial. I mean, Samom sarva bhuteshu, I give equal opportunity to all. And what is that equal opportunity? Is giving opportunity to practice bhakti to all. An important thing is he is giving this opportunity irrespective of our status. Whether you are a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra or a Chandala or some other Yoni like animal, aquatics, trees, whatever may be your status. You can still, he says, Samam Sarvabhuta, I'm equal to all. So, what does this mean is that Krishna is once again re emphasizing that I am seated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya Chaham Ridhi Sanni Vishto. Ridhi, he is sitting in everyone's heart as what? Paramatma. So that is in that sense he is equal to all. He is not discriminating at all. Oh, you are a Chandala, I am not in your heart. Oh, you are a Vaishya, I am not in your heart. Oh, you are an animal, I cannot be in your heart. Oh, you are a plant, no way. He is not saying that. He is treating equally all. And the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when you read the lifestyle of King Prithu Maharaj, you will exactly see the same qualities. Of course, Prithu Maharaj was the Shakti Avish avatar of Krishna who came as a king, but he ruled as a king, and then that complete aspects what he followed for his praja, exactly he followed this. Samam Sarva Bhuteshu. So, Samam Sarva, so I'm equal to all living beings. So, whenever bhakti is performed from different levels of people's society, Krishna doesn't get degraded. Like if a Chandala is worshipping Krishna versus a Brahmana worshipping Krishna, Krishna does not think this way that, oh, Chandala is worshipping me, so therefore, my position will be degraded. Oh, Brahmana is worshipping me, so therefore my position is upgraded. He doesn't think that way. It is we as human beings think that way. If I associate with this person, then what people will think of me? Oh, I'm mixing with this person. If I associate with that person, oh, then people will think, I'm also a nice person like him. This is this is a quality which we have acquired from the modes of material nature. The three natures that are prevalent here, Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, and Tamaguna. This is actually speaking from us. But Krishna is above these three Triguna. And therefore, Krishna doesn't show this distinction, no discrimination. So, this is a lesson that we all have to learn. Through Krishna, there are Rajarshis, saintly kings who rule the nations, the country, the emperors. Like as I said, Prithu Maharaj, then there is Parikshit Maharaj, then there is Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, then is Ambarish Maharaj. These are all fantastic examples of kings who exactly followed what Krishna said. So we have to imbibe these qualities in whatever role and capacity we are in. We should follow this particular basic thing. Okay, all are Krishnas. If I see somebody, there is Krishna in his heart. I should pay obeisance to him also. When Gajendra of all the animal, he prayed and Krishna appeared. What more should jolt us than this? Shabari, she was not coming from she was coming from a very low caste. But then with the berries that she made jhuta to taste, Krishna took her bhav. Krishna took, Lord Ramchandra took her bhav. Oh, that she's basically tasting because she wants to give the best to me. And the ones which are not good, she's throwing. So this is the bhav Krishna, the Lord Ramchandra took. Similarly, Guha, who was the king of the tribal group, he also rendered his service in his own way to Lord Ramchandra and became his friend. So in this way, sorry, where am I? Yeah. Is the king this slide is visible because I suddenly lost the slide.
We can see the slide, Prabhuji.
Now it has come back. I think internet fluctuation. Okay. So
You're 9.29.
yes, correct. So similarly, take the case of Pandavas, Bhishma Pita, then Kunti Maharani, all this entire, they belong to high class people, but they were so devoted to the Lord, also felt very good and give them the sublime mercy. So in this way, when he says Name Dvesha Asti Astina Priya, that means I do not hate anyone, na Dvesha, na Priya. That means I am not favoring anyone. So it's very clear in the first two lines that Krishna is a totally impartial. It means like a judge. He is not, showing any favorism. and is not envious of anybody. All species are equal to them. Because this is highlighting the Paramatma aspect. Now, if you go to the next two lines, it seems that he is contradicting himself. So, the next two lines saying, Ye bhajante tu mam bhaktya, mai teshu chapyaham. The moment tu has come, that means there is a but. So, normally when we speak also, we say so many things and we say but. The but changes the course of direction. So here the last two where Krishna says ye bhajante to mam bhaktya, but he says but those who worship me ye bhajanti, who worship me to mam bhaktya with devotion. He says mayi te teshu chapyaham. So these devotees are inside me and I am inside them. So this he is not saying to everyone. He's saying Samom Sarvabhuteshu, the first line he has said I'm equal to all. But in the next two lines, he is putting a small caveat and he is saying tu, that is but. But those who worship me with complete love and devotion, completely surrender to me, to them, I am always inside them and they are always inside me. Now, this is, dear devotees, an ideal reciprocation, like a parent. A father or mother are always with the children, whether it's good times or bad times, whether the child is remembering the father or mother or not. The father or mother cannot forget the child even for a moment. The child might be miles and thousands of miles away, but while eating, while doing some activities, even when the mother is seeing the slippers with the child, with the son or daughters left behind, they will be remembering, directly connecting to the child. Entire what my child is doing there, who is taking care of that. So it's a love that is growing into a concern. It's a love that is expressing that how can I help this person. So exactly Krishna is expressing that love. So therefore we can conclude that Krishna is partial also, he is impartial also. So he's impartially partial. That's the right way. And in fact, we have also studied in verse 4.11, if you remember, the fourth chapter 11, ye yatamam prapatyante tam stataiva bhajamyam. So Krishna already told in the fourth chapter that the way you surrender or degree of surrender, how much you surrender, I shall give my reciprocation, tateva, tam stataiva bhajamyam. So I shall reciprocate in the same way. That's why for some people, they are attracted spontaneously to Krishna. For some people, it takes time because their degree of surrender, dear devotees, is much higher than the general people who are trying to surrender. They want to surrender, but that's not happening spontaneously for them. It is happening slowly. So exactly this same thing what Krishna said in 4.11, here Krishna is further highlighting it. Now let's try to understand a little bit more. So let's take the case of rain. Is rain partial or not? Can somebody unmute and answer this to me? Is rain partial or not?
No, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
No, Prabhu.
Prabhuji. That
Yeah.
no, it's no,
No.
Prabhuji.
Correct. So rain is not partial. Why? Why it's not partial? Because it falls everywhere.
It's
The rain, see, the rain does not see whether this person needs a rain or that person needs a rain or not. The rain is trying to be equal to all. It's only that when the rain comes, some people want to get drenched in the rain, that is their choice. Some people want to carry an umbrella, that is their choice. Some people want to play in the rain, that is their choice. So the choices we make, but rain is equal to all. So depending upon how the person wants to receive the rain, to get the right enjoyment, accordingly it is there. So what is the understanding from this? The understanding we get that the rainfall, is equal upon this entire earth planet. But yet the drop that falls sometimes, on a paddy field, that converts into a grain. Correct? The drop that falls into a desert, a desert bush, that gets converted to a thorn, the same rain. And yet the drop that falls into a gutter hmm, becomes dirty water. And the drop that falls on the oyster becomes a pearl. See the difference. So there is no partiality on the part of the rain, but since it is equitable in bestowing its grace upon the entire land, but then the outcome is different. So similarly, Krishna is equal to all, but some are experiencing his closeness more than some other people. And the people who experience his closeness are his devotees. Yeah? And the people who always remember him all the time are his real pure devotees, like gopis. We pray that may I not forget Krishna. They actually pray, how can I forget Krishna? Totally ulta. So you can imagine how the difference is there in the reciprocation. Because Krishna is willingly reciprocating to them in the way that they are reciprocating, the way that they are exhibiting to them. So ye yatamam prapadyante tam tateva bhajamyaham. Another example, this is very interesting. Some of you must have observed this. This bee, which goes on in different flowers to extract the nectar. Actually, the bee also dies because of the same activity. A bee sits on a lotus the daytime before sunset, and it is deeply extracting the nectar, and it is getting intoxicated, and it is forgetting now the lotus will close its petals because it is becoming sunset, but it is deeply intoxicated by extracting and the lotus close, the leaves close of the lotus, and the bee gets suffocated inside and it dies. Now who is the cause of this bee's death? Is it the lotus? Is it the sun because sun set? Or is it the lotus that the lotus closed? No. The cause is the bee himself. The bee is supposed to have left the lotus before the sunset, but it chose to enjoy the nectar of the lotus. So similarly, in this world, dear devotees, people at times blame God without knowing that God loves them too. People blame them when they don't see activities going their way. They think that God is the order supplier. I have told him to do this and he's not doing it. That means there is no God. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada says in one of the lectures that the duck that quacks more than the other will always get more grains. Or you can say the doctor the doctor treats all the patients equally, but his treatment varies depending upon the extent of the disease. So the nature of problem will be different. So, but therefore, he doesn't give the same medicine to all. So, this concept, once it goes into deep into our heart, dear devotees, we will understand what sort of relationship we must have with Krishna, and then how Krishna will reciprocate. Okay, and one important thing we should never forget, and this is what we should remember, and this is an analogy that Srila Prabhupada also highlights. The beauty of this gold ring gets exemplified when there is a diamond stone sitting on top of the ring, isn't it? Now imagine this ring without a diamond stone. What will be its value or beauty as compared to the diamond sitting in the center of the gold ring? So the entire beauty of the diamond ring, the ring itself is enhanced, and the gold ring gets glorified in the process. So exactly this Lord, the Lord is like the eternally sitting, like giving us this glitter eternally, and this living entity who is always inclined to serve the Supreme Lord looks like gold. But when they're combining together, that is, Lord is a diamond and this combination, then it is, ultimately it goes to any extent. And that's when Krishna starts giving credit for all the success, for everything to the devotee. Like Krishna virtually did everything for Arjuna on a platter. Either do this, do that, do this. Arjuna did it. But ultimately, the credit Krishna gave to Arjuna. That is because he was his servant, most devoted servant. So therefore, we can conclude this verse by saying that Krishna is impartially partial to all. He gives equal opportunity to everyone. And he's giving an opportunity to enter his So let's say you imagine a circle, and inside the circle there's a small dot, and that dot is a arena of partiality in which you can perform bhakti. So you are outside the inner circle, so you have access to the inner circle also. But we are constantly outside, so you are not experiencing what is experiencing by people in the inner circle. That is bhakti. So Krishna gives that two-way reciprocation when we come into inner circle. We go to the next verse now, verse number 29. Now, what if such a type of devotee that we have described now, you know, like Krishna says that these people are, I'm sitting in them, they are sitting in me because they're always thinking of me, etc. So they're pure. So, what if such a devotee commits a mistake? Because at the end of the day, we say to err is human, right? So Krishna is now revealing that through this verse and also through the next verse, two verses 30 and 31, that what if this devotee, such a devotee, commits a mistake? Because mistakes can be multiple times, multiple types. Like there can be something intentional, something can be unintentional, something can be a serious type of mistakes, different. So let's see this verse now then. So here it goes. Api chet suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabhat sadureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. Api chet suduracharo. So durachar, sudurachar. So this is three words. Dura achar. So what is achar? Achar is something like an action. Durachar is bad action. Durachar is bad action. Sudurachar is extremely bad action. So a person, apichet suduracharo, that means such a person, very bad person, living entity, even if he commits a very, very abominable action, very bad conduct, like he takes to violence or maybe theft or murder, adultery, etc. Sudurachar. So even to such a person, he says bhajan, and but he is basically bhajan tadate mam ananebak. He is worshipping Krishna all the time, but yet he has committed this kind of mistake. So let's understand it this way. There are basically two types of activities that any person does. One is naimatika dharma or bodies, action related to the bodies, and something that is related to the spiritual activities or swadharma or jaiva dharma, actions of the soul. So the activities of the body sometimes are required to abide by the laws of society, state, governments, etc. And the activities of the soul, spiritual activities, the devotional activities, they have to be performed because they are for pleasing the Lord, services to the Lord, which are termed as transcendental. So sometimes when we are doing the activity of the body, we tend to do some mistake. We commit some mistake. That is the meaning of the Durachar. They are like spots on the moon. The moon is actually considered to be spotless, but yet if you see, there are some spots. So which resemble like they say it's like a rabbit on the moon. So this also Krishna talks about such accidental falls or incidental falls. So these are because of the conditioning nature of the human being. We are conditioned by different nature and we carry anarthas, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mat, matsarya. All these anarthas are sitting in our heart. That's why we are born in this material world. So sometimes when we associate with the suitable modes, it makes you behave that way, like in a lusty way, and in an envious way, in a greedy way, in an anger way. And because of that, you may do some mistake. And especially in the beginning stage of bhakti, when you're a sadhaka, these things are very, very routine, rampant, and quite common also. So this is basically costing them. And some people are actually making sincere attempt. Bhajate mam ananya bhak. So they are all the time, even though it's a bad conduct, but they are all the time thinking of Krishna. Somehow it has happened, bad thing. So what Krishna says for them? Sadhureva sa sadhureva sa mantavya, samyak, vyavasitos hi saha. So Krishna says, now this is basically a Krishna's declaration, okay? So we cannot question it. So Krishna says, such a person I'm considering him as a sadhu eva. I consider him as a saint. He is to be respected. Mantavya. He should not be, just because he made a mistake, he should not be looked down upon. So this is my command. And when it is Krishna's order, and let's say we disobey that order, then we are doing a Vaishnava Aparadha also. Vaishnava Aparadha is basically an offense on the person who is a devotee. For example, when we see a devotee or Vaishnava, we have to pay obeisance. That's a right etiquette. Even if somebody is not a devotee, mentally we offer them the obeisance because Krishna is sitting in the heart. And if somebody is a very, very elevated devotee, we can even pay obeisance and touch their lotus feet also. So samyak vyavasito hi saha. Such a person's determination is to be appreciated because he is well situated. And so you can understand from this that Krishna is not judgmental. He's not passing any judgment. So let's see the translation of this verse. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. So in other words, Krishna is trying to purify this particular imperfect devotee. Krishna is excusing. Krishna is not judgmental. He is excusing because he is compassionate. He is excusing him, and he is ultimately trying to give him the freedom from this misery. So Krishna's purpose is very clear. His purpose is not to catch what this person is doing wrong. He's not trying to catch us in the. Because sometimes some people have habit, when they see a person making mistake, they will highlight the mistake. They will highlight the mistake, and along with that, they will highlight that you did it. So the person gets a tarnished image. That's why some of the multinational companies now, when they try to advertise their standards of business conduct, they say that address the problem and not the person. That's a good way of saying it. Address the issue and not the person. Because sometimes we tend to get personal by trying to abuse the person through the mistake that he has made, and the person in the process neither the person will improve nor the mistake is rectified. So Krishna is teaching that to us from this example. So Krishna is not trying to catch our mistake, but he's trying to coach us towards what is right. That is what he's trying to do here. So during such an activity, he is desiring that may we come out with our best qualities. So he's looking beyond our intention. I mean, he's looking beyond our action, and actually he's looking at our intention. Because your intention might be something, but the action is something, correct? So what is to be considered, intention or action? We take the intention. Because this person is still to be excused because his intention was good, but somehow or the other, the action came out to be bad. So that's why even if a person may fall, we should excuse him. And that's why Krishna in the 18th chapter also says, Sarva Dharma Dharmam Pratrajya Mamekam Sharanam Praja Aham Tvam Sarva Pape Bhyo Mokshayashaya Masita. So I will take the sins. I will take the sins and I'll forgive everybody. So this is a blanket statement that Krishna is making. So which should get a comfort out of this. Okay, and therefore sadhu reva, we should consider such a person as sadhus. So important thing is when we are ananya bhak. Ananya bhak is somebody who is all the time not deviating. Ananya, when Krishna said in one of the earlier was 9.26, Ananya Chintayanto Mam Yojana. And for them, Krishna gives what? Yogakshemam Vahamyam. So again, Ananya Bhak is coming here. So Ananya Bhak is single pointed focus. Ananya, na anya. no, no, bhaktaha. So such person will be not worship. So when you are that kind of a person, then what happens is Krishna will ensure that he destroys the sinful reactions. He will destroy the sinful inclination to commit sins, and he will also protect one from committing such accidental sins in future. So important lesson, as I said, that is coming out from here is essential intention is more important than incidental action. Please remember this all the time. Take the intention of the person. Sometimes we find people chastise us. He might be our equal, but he loves you. That's why he's chastising you. And we, because we are short-sighted, we take him serious. We take his comments seriously to the extent that he's probably envious of me or he doesn't like me anymore. He was not like this with me before. It's not like that. If somebody is saying, take the intention is something for your own self-improvement, that should be the satisfaction indication for us. Even otherwise, if the intention is wrong, best way is to keep quiet if you are on the equal position. If you are on a higher position, you can tell him politely that this is the way, right etiquette to communicate. And if you are on a inferior position, then just stay calm. No need to give any response, or you can say, okay, I'll do it. See, why is this happening? We should understand, because sometimes we don't go beyond just what we are seeing in the world, but we should understand that all this has got a reason. And the understanding for this is that, as per scriptures, it says that man commits this mistake because of four defects. We as human beings have four defects, and the four defects are: we have imperfect senses, we are prone to committing mistakes, we are prone to getting bewildered, and we have a cheating propensity. These four defects are inherently present in human being. Like one leads to another. If we are having illusion, I mean, illusion comes from ignorance. So if you are having illusion, it leads you to commit mistake. When you commit a mistake, it leads to an embarrassment. Oh, I have done this mistake. I'm guilty. I'm embarrassed. Now, when you're guilty and embarrassed, then sometimes it makes you cheat the situation. You don't want to admit, because if you admit, you will think what others will think about me. So, so illusion leads you to commit mistake. Mistakes leads you to commit, embarrassment, and embarrassment to cover up makes you do the cheating. So this is how actually it goes in complete circle. But if once slip is one slip, if somebody makes, that's not the end of the world. In Shastras, there is a story of Indra making so many mistakes, one after another. But each time it's a lesson that he's learning and he's giving to us also. But one of the famous instances that we all remember and can connect is Indra's pride was crushed by Krishna, because Indra was angry with the Vrindavan Vasis or Brajavasis, because they stopped Indra Puja. They stopped Indra Puja because Krishna told Nanda Maharaj's father that stop this puja. It is not Indra who is giving you rain. It is Govardhan. You worship Govardhan. Govardhan is the cause for the all the prosperity you are getting. So hearing this, Nanda Maharaj stopped the Indra worship, and then all the entire Brajavasis, they were subject to complete torrential, the fury of Indra through torrential downpour, which lasted for 7 days, seven nights. So through this pastime, Indra showed his pride. And what Krishna did to crush that pride, he lifted Govardhan as if he was lifting a mushroom. And like an umbrella, with the left hand, small finger, little finger, he stood on the tip of his toe, and very easily he stood for 7 days, 7 nights, and the entire Brajavasis got protected. So all this is happening because we have these three kinds of nature associated with us. Three C's, as I call it. Three C's. Remember three C's that we have. One is conditioned nature. Our behavior is based on which mode of nature you are associating with. Sattva guna makes you behave in a good way. Rajaguna makes you, behave in a very passionate way. Sometimes anger also comes. And if you're associating with Tamoguna, then a lot of laziness, ignorance, and all those kind of activities will come. Procrastinating, you will not be actually, everything will postpone. So all those comes because of conditioned nature. The second C is circumstantial. Circumstantial nature is, it is something like, a one-time offense you did. You were not intending to do it. Just one time. Like let's say I entered a shop. I entered a shop and I wanted to check on so many different types of phone. In the process, my phone I removed from my pocket and I kept on the bench there. And then what happens is when I'm leaving, by mistake, instead of my phone, which I have left on the bench, I pick up some other phone and I go. No doubt it's an offense, but it is not an intentional offense. It is circumstantial because the phone that I picked perhaps resembled the phone which I was carrying earlier. So it's a mistake, no doubt, but it is a unintentional mistake. That is what is called a circumstantial mistake. It was purely circumstantial. Even the case of Parikshit Maharaj, when he was very thirsty and he was wandering about in the forest, he was looking to drink even little bit of water, and finally he came to the hermitage of Samik Rishi, and here Samik Rishi was completely in his meditation, completely deeply in his meditation, and he did not even notice Parikshit Maharaj. The Parikshit Maharaj even spoke to him, "My dear Muni, I want to drink some water. Can you help me?" And Samik Rishi did not even open his eyes because he was deep in his meditation. Now, circumstantially, in that particular moment, Parikshit Maharaj developed a degree of anger. And what he did, he put the dead snake around the neck of Samik Rishi. So this is not a conditional. Parikshit Maharaj was not a conditioned person for that. He was already a pure devotee. Remember, he has seen Krishna in the womb when he was in his mother's womb, Uttara's womb. So he's already a pure soul, not a conditioned soul. But it is just that a circumstantial thing. It made him behave like that. And of course, because of that happened, Srimad Bhagavatam was revealed to the entire humanity. So Krishna is ready to forgive such circumstantial nature because it is accidental. And then there's a third type of nature, there is constitutional nature. That is what I was saying earlier as Jaiva Dharma. So there is conditioned nature, there is circumstantial nature, and then there is constitutional nature. The circumstantial nature is also part of, I would say in the broader sense, conditional nature because it is, or Naimittika Dharma. So Naimittika is bodily activity. In that conditioned nature comes and also circumstantial nature. And then the third one is constitutional nature, which is part of Jaiva Dharma. And which there you are behaving just as a servant of Krishna. Everything else you are oblivious to. So we need to overcome the conditioned nature through bhakti. Through no other way you can overcome conditioned nature. We all have conditioned nature. Only bhakti will help us to overcome from conditioned nature. And in the process, we need to avoid circumstantial nature. Circumstantial nature is something that you have to be alert. You cannot be excused. You will be forgiven, but once it is happening, but regularly you cannot be circumstantial. I can be careless person, but then I can keep making mistakes. Even though my intention is not there, it continues to be circumstantial, but eventually we'll get the label of condition. If circumstantial nature keeps on happening regularly, it becomes conditioned. So, bhakti will help us to overcome conditioned nature and a little bit of uh, yeah, we have to take care for the we have to be alert towards circumstantial nature, and we have to recognize and realize our spiritual nature, that is constitutional nature. And that can happen through chanting. When we realize that, then we understand that our true nature of the soul will start emanating out, who we are. Okay, and that stage is basically a stage where Krishna will be happy with us. He will, we can come continuously be in a joyous situation. All this anger and laziness will go away. That is, the material influence will go away, and we are constantly thinking of Krishna. So we should not worry. And sometimes we have a habit of thinking what we did in the past, and then we kill ourselves with that. Oh, I did this. What a big sinner I am. Krishna will not forgive me. No. Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He'll forgive you. Just like how a pure Vaishnava, a good Vaishnava is always forgiving and compassionate. That's Krishna's quality that is rubbing upon him. So we have to be mindful of that, and then Krishna will always forgive us. Yeah. So yeah, this is what actually I already explained, the conditional nature, circumstantial, and this thing. So now, yeah, one more thing I want to mention here is that sometimes if a person that you come across has committed this mistake, what should be our behavior towards him? Because see, we have a responsibility towards him also. So if he makes a mistake, then we should not mock such a person. We should never mock a person, because we should be mindful of the fact that we have also done that mistake. We have also committed such a mistake, and we were like that before. It is just the negligence that has made him do that. So we should be more compassionate. We should develop more compassionate to him. You know, so before you suspect, other person's intention, we have to actually suspect our own perception sometimes, because our perception may not be good. We may make a wrong or a bad perception or about the person, but his intention is not like that. So best thing is to become a well-wisher of the person, and then you know so and the person who is making a mistake, he should straight away apologize, say that I'm sorry. Best way is to be very honest about it, and agree, accept your mistake instead of trying to cover up and justifying. That is dishonesty. And most of us, we try to do that only because we cannot face that embarrassment. That's the problem. Whereas if we admit, or sometimes we are right, but somehow we have been perceived that way, take it as a Krishna's mercy only, and just move forward. It will be recognized. It will be recognized. That's very, very important. An apology, tending an apology, will go a very, very long way in purifying us. Hmm? So remember these 5 R's. These are very, very important lessons. We first realize our mistake, we regret the mistake, then we try to rectify the mistake. We try to remember it. Why remembrance is important? So that we don't repeat it, and then we remember it. Why remembrance is important? So that in future, even if somebody else is committing this mistake, we should remember that we did this mistake also once upon a time. Or otherwise we'll become like a elephant who throws the dust upon his body again and again, goes to take bath. Again he goes and throws dust. So this is completely the manye kunjara sauchana. So this is the verse from Bhagavatam. We should not be like that. So this is a very important message from Prabhupada only. Krishna's affection for his devotees is his very nature, and it does not decrease even when we commit mistakes accidentally. He may punish if necessary, but he never withdraws his loving shelter. Such a profound statement Srila Prabhupada is making. Okay, then we go to the verse number 31. This is a very simple verse, so we will not dwell on it for a very long time. क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शाश्वत शांतिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानाहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति. Very famous verse, because here Krishna is boldly asking Arjuna to declare that my devotees will never perish. Kaunteya pratijanahi. So that means Kaunteya pratijanahi, that is, O Kaunteya, that is Arjuna, please go and declare boldly, Namai Bhakta Pranashyati. And Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma. That means having committed such a sin, Shashwat Shantim. So that means when he's remembering such a devotee, when he commits a mistake, but he keeps remembering, because we are talking of a imperfect devotee who is doing his bit to remember Krishna. But when he's committed a sin and he's remembering Krishna, he becomes repentant. And then very soon, Shipram is very soon, Bhavati, he becomes Dharmatma. Dharmatma is basically follows a very righteous path. So here you can see the photo of Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was born in a demonic clan. I mean, he was basically born in the demonic family. But his grandfather was Prahlad Maharaj. He somehow transformed himself since birth itself because of Narad Muni, his guru. So Bali Maharaj had his guru as Shukracharya, and he was always guided by Shukracharya. In the process, even though he was trying to become good, but he was having a lot of pride. And the pride came because he felt he's very powerful. He defeated all the denizens of Swargaloka, including Indra, and he conquered the complete three worlds. And then he thought that nobody can now defeat me. I'm very powerful. That pride that I've conquered everything, that came. So there was basically a repentance. When Lord came as Vamana, dwarf Brahmana, to test him. And Bali Maharaj out of pride said, I can give you whatever you want. You ask me. So Lord just asked for 3 steps. And Bali Maharaj said, I can give you more. Why 3 steps? Lord said, no, thank you. Just 3 steps you give me. And the moment he said that, the Lord crushed his pride by expanding himself from Vamana to Trivikrama. So the entire 3 worlds was covered only in 2 steps. And the third step, Lord asked, where do I keep now? So that was how Bali Maharaj was subdued by the Lord. But in the process, he made him a better devotee. And that's why the Lord placed his lotus feet upon the head of Bali Maharaj, because that was Bali Maharaj's desire, Atma Nivedan, complete surrender. Shashvat Shantim Nigachati. That means it stands for complete surrender. And then if you do it that way, then all your anarthas will permanently go away. Shantim, permanently go away. Shashvat, it's, all the time, permanently it will go away. So therefore Krishna says that, and why Krishna is asking Arjuna to declare it? Krishna could have told himself directly, I'll declare it. Because Krishna felt that so many times Krishna has said something, then he changes depending upon the situation. In Bhagavad-Gita, in Mahabharata war itself, we have seen. He said, I'll never, side anybody, but he sided the Pandavas. He never said, I'll pick up any weapons, but he picked up the wheel when it comes to Bhishma Pita killing. So, whereas if a devotee, Bhakta, gives a word, Krishna will fulfill that. So, therefore, Krishna said to Arjuna that you declare it and I shall fulfill it. The best example that comes to our mind is Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was such a pure devotee that when he was challenged by his demonic father Hiranyakashipu, that prove where is your Vishnu? Is he here? Is he there? Finally, when he had to tell that his father that my Vishnu is present everywhere, including this pillar also. So that was the word that already Prahlad Maharaj gave. So when the pillar was broken by his father Hiranyakashipu, immediately the Lord came out in the form of Narsimha. So this actually proves Satyam Vidatum Nijabhritya Bhashitam. That is Nijabhritya. So a close devotee, Bhashitam, the words that comes out from the lotus mouth of a pure devotee, that the Lord will make it as a truthful gospel. That's a truth. Gospel truth. He'll make it happen. Stambe Sabhayam Nabrigam Na Manushyam. He just broke the stamba, that is pillar, and he came out neither as a human being nor as an animal, as a half man, half lion. He came as Lord Narasimhadev. So that is the word that Krishna gives. So you will read this in the translation. So Krishna advises Arjuna for this bold declaration about his devotee. So he says he quickly becomes righteous. We saw that Dharmatma, and attains lasting, everlasting peace. O son of Kunti, please go and boldly declare that my devotee never perishes. So for this, the only criteria one must do is follow the instructions of Krishna. And we can follow a bona fide representative also of Krishna. If you follow the instructions of Krishna through his bona fide representatives, then Krishna will ensure that there is no such fall down for us. Accidental fall downs also will not happen. This is a good example, practical example of the usage of Google Map. We all use Google Map, especially when we are traveling, and we trust. So here Google Map is our bona fide representative. So whatever the Google Maps, you said something and we blindly believe the bona fide electronic master here, Google Map. And we trust the map so much that even if Google makes a mistake, you know, we try to follow it. But sometimes the Google is not making a mistake. Let's say it's on the clear direction and we make a mistake. Instead of turning right, we take a left turn. Then what Google does? Google will like a Siksha Guru or a Diksha Guru, the Google will immediately reroute us. It will find the best optimum route for us, and it will help us still reach the right destination. And help us to reach there. And imagine without the map, how do I know what is the right or wrong way? I remember several years back before the Google map when we used to travel to Pandharpur by car. After every 50 kilometers, after Indrapur, not after Indrapur, after Hadapsar, after Pune, when you take the Solapur road, and the road was narrow at that time. This I'm talking is 2009 when we drove to Pandharpur. After every 40 kilometers, I used to stop the vehicle and used to ask somebody. And sometimes it was to be a wrong way, sometimes a right way. And what is basically a 7 hours drive took me 12 hours to reach Pandharpur first time. And subsequently, of course, now we have got Google Map and it helps you to reach in about 6 to 7 hours with good roads also, wider roads. So the essence what I'm trying to say is that by following a practical example like this, by understanding that you follow a guru, you need a guru, a good Siksha Guru, a good Diksha Guru, who are following in Guru Parampara, then you will never make a mistake. Even if you make a mistake, the Guru will help you to reroute and bring you back on the track. I'm skipping this. I'm going to verse number 32 now. Yeah. Mam hi partha vyapashrita yespi syo papayonah striyo vaishya tata shudras tepi yanti param gatim. So here what Krishna is saying is actually further extension of his mercy. So in the previous verse, Krishna said that even if somebody is not pure, he just makes a sincere attempt. I will still try to, help him, liberate him. So what is important is that little bit of sincere intention is what Krishna is looking for. We focus so much on purity that we lose sincerity. But Krishna actually saying the other way around. You focus more on sincerity, then purity will automatically, sincerity will lead to purity. It will automatically come to purity. Sometimes, we are not fortunate to be born in a pious family or in a devotee family. Our education may not be, a good education. We may not have got the right values, virtues, right from the childhood. So this is because of our past karma. And sometimes our karma is so good. Okay. No, sometimes let's say we are so bad that we might be born in a family of drunkards or on the street, very poverty stricken, still worse that is, or in a family of atheists, that also can happen. So depending upon, and sometimes we're born in a good family, right from childhood, we are able to take spirituality in a human form and we get human realization faster. So all this, there are different, types of gradations are available. But Krishna says, I'm not, showing any difference here. He says, Mami Partha He. He means certainly, Nishchitam, Mami Partha, that is Osana Prita, Vyapa Ashritya Ashrita. That means I am ready to give shelter to anybody and everybody who comes to me. And this includes, he says in a line, that Yepi Shya Papa Yonaha, Striyo Vaishyas Tata Sudras. That means any class of men, there are different classes of men, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So here specifically it's mentioned Striyo, Vaishyas, Tata Shudras. So some may wonder why even Striyo is coming. So Striyo is coming not because of any discrimination. In fact, the entire scriptures are always glorifying the Stri community as mothers and Lakshmi Devi, eventually Radharani, Sita Devi. So here what you have to understand is basically Stri by nature they are considered to be a little bit ignorant among the between man and woman, because they are more on the bodily platform compared to, like they focus a little bit more on the beauty self aspect, so purely in the bodily platform. So in that sense, their name is coming here as little bit on the lower platform, but otherwise it's not applicable to devotee people, because devotees fully understand in what way it is. So therefore sometimes they are categorized as ignorant, because their identification to body is greater in the female body. I mean, they always bodily conscious. You can see that sometimes young girls all the time keep looking at the mirror. Am I beautiful? Am I, impressive in my looks? Whereas boys don't devote much time. They just do this hair 2 times and then they're done. They can go out. So little bit from that angle, Striyas are also there. So Striyas, Vaishyas, Tata Shudras. I mean, why Shudras? From scriptures, we come to know even lower species, animal species. No, they are also taken to shelter. Jambavan took shelter, Gajendra took shelter, Jatayu took shelter, Sugriva took shelter, Hanuman took shelter. So all these people, peacocks in Vrajalila, they took shelter. So many instances are there where time, place, circumstances do not matter. So that is what this verse is saying. They all, Krishna is ready to give them shelter. So so the theme here is people of sinful birth can also take shelter of Krishna and they can attain. O son of Prita, those who take shelter in me, though maybe of lower birth, in that connection, women is coming, not for any other discrimination. Women, Vaishyas, Shudras can also attain me. That is why Paramgatim, supreme destination. So Krishna clearly does not discriminate and show any difference in the social status. What he sees is only our heart status. It's not seeing our social share, only the heart status. Because what is really important is it is not the disposition. Spiritual growth depends purely on the not on the position but on disposition. Because our intention, what we feel, our position might be lower, our position might be higher, but our disposition towards Krishna as a bhakta, as a servant of the servant of the servant, that is really matters. So therefore, the lesson here is that our spiritual growth surely depends upon disposition in whatever status and not the position. Okay. Then, so yeah, again, same thing. So there is no discrimination seen here between different status of people. Everyone is treated equally, and Krishna is seeing only our heart status. For example, in a coaching class, we see that even a college dropout, coaching class sometimes make them a topper. So how does it happen? Somehow the transformation has happened because he was a dropout, but later on he becomes a topper. So what to speak of a topper who joins a coaching class? So he will prosper even more than the college dropout. So this we have seen so many times. So in this way, any ordinary person from any social status can, through his heart, can give his heart to Krishna, and Krishna will accept him and give him the shelter. That is what is more important. We go to verse number 33, the second last verse. So here Krishna says, let me, the verse, yes. Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajarshaya stata anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajaswamam. So here Krishna is once again saying that, see, as compared to those who were referred, like in the previous verse, we saw that Striyo Vaishyas Tata Shudro. So if they themselves are rescued by the Lord, when Lord is not giving any not considering the social status, then what to speak of Kim Punar Brahmana? What to speak of the Brahmana or Punya Bhakta? That is twice the Brahmana. The holy Brahmanas who have taken sacred birth, what to speak of them? They already got a favorable starting point. So if they practice bhakti, starting point is favorable. Why? Because they are already situated in mode of goodness since birth. That helps for bhakti. So when such a person is doing, then the qualities have become more and more conducive. So Krishna is once again emphasizing this, because the Brahmana comes under with so many good qualities. In the 18th chapter, he highlights a list of several qualities like Shamo, Damo, Tapa, Shocham, Shanti, then Arjavam, Jnanam, Vijnanam. Different qualities are there of Brahmana. It is peacefulness, self-control, austerities, then purity, tolerance, and so on. Honesty, knowledge, wisdom, etc. So many. So this will come in the 18th chapter because the Brahmana by birth is supposed to have these qualities. So here Krishna is saying, uh, so Brahmana Punya Bhakta. That means such a person who is already favorable since birth. Okay. And Rajarseyas Tata. And then what else? He says that there are kings also who are Rajarshis. If such person also practices, then what happens? What happens? They are very qualified. So Krishna says in the translation, how much more this is to for those righteous persons, the devotees and saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary world, so here important thing is anityam, asukam, lokam. So anityam and asukam. So these two things are actually there. Krishna says characteristics of this material world. It is anutyam. Anutyam is not nityam, that is not permanent. And asukam, opposite of sukam, that is dukhalyam. So in 8.15, Krishna says also dukhalyam ashasutam. We studied that already in the 8th chapter. So again, Krishna is saying the same thing about this material world. It is anityam asukam. So when such persons, therefore, come to this material world, so they immediately understand that there is no sukham in this world and this is a temporary world. So let me pack my bags and go back quickly. So you can see here, like in this chart, there's a complete difference because sometimes what happens is you have a wrong person also remembering Krishna for a wrong reason. Okay, like Kamsa. Kamsa is a demon, but he's all the time Krishna conscious for a wrong reason, in a negative way. And then you have got Prahlad Maharaj, who's a pure devotee, who's always remembering Krishna for a positive reason, favorable. So even then, Krishna is not showing any difference. Because in both the categories, we see the meditation is constant. Kamsa is constantly thinking about Krishna. When this, because the Vani is that Krishna will kill him. So he's seeing Krishna, whether he's present here, whether he's present there, whether he'll come to kill me. So he's constantly thinking, he's absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And here, Prahlad Maharaj is favorably thinking of Krishna consciousness. All the time Krishna. Krishna is making his entire devotee friends Krishna. Then motivation. What is the motivation for demonic people? They are envy of Krishna. They are fearful of Krishna. They have enmity. But they are remembering Krishna, like Shishupal. And their state of mind, they're always in a state of anxiety, paranoia. So these things will lead them to destruction. But what happens is, even though Krishna kills them, he rewards them the highest because they are always Krishna conscious. So they also get liberation. That is the beauty. So whatever these names like Shishupal, Kamsa, Ravana, they all got liberated. Even the entire this Kaurava clan, they all got liberated because they were seeing Krishna face to face. So as a result, but here the important lesson for us is that when Krishna says, I will uplift without any status quo, anybody who wants to come to me, then what to speak of the Brahmanas who have already got better qualities from birth, then what to speak of them? They can easily remember me and they know that this world is temporary and it is full of distress. So thus Krishna concludes his verse 9.33 by clearly saying that imam prapya bhajasava mam. They also they engage in the loving service unto me. So he clearly tells us, so as a devotee, our job is basically to know now what Krishna is expecting out of us. Because now Krishna is coming to the state of bringing us to the essence of the essence of the essence of the essence. Dear devotees, please stay for another few minutes. Don't leave now, because right now what you're going to hear for the next 5 minutes or so is the most essence part of the entire Bhagavad-Gita. So if somebody has braved and without any boredom they have stayed back till the end, please forget everything else and just pay attention to this particular verse 9.34, because this verse is very unique, since Krishna has repeated this verse again in the 18th chapter 65. 18.65, Krishna has repeated this verse. When Krishna is repeating something two times, it is to be taken seriously. And this is the only verse that has come two times. So please take this verse very, very seriously. And Krishna is giving us very simple qualification that is required. Just four steps. What is that? Let's see. मन्मना भावमद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां मनमस्कुरु माम एवैष्यसि युक्ता युक्त्वयम् आत्मनं मत्परायणाः. So let's read the translation first. Engage your mind, number one, always in thinking of me. Two, become my devotee. Three, offer obeisance to me and worship me. Four, and by doing this, you become completely absorbed in this way. You will surely come to me. What a guarantee! What more we need? So this is the sum and substance of this entire ninth chapter. Sum and substance of the entire Bhagavad Gita. This verse is a pouring of heart of Krishna, Krishna's mercy, Krishna's compassion. He is giving us, dear devotees, a backdoor entry. Why Prabhupada kept, please follow my dhoti and you hold my dhoti and I'll take you back home, back to Godhead. It doesn't literally mean that we have to hold his dhoti. It means that Prabhupada wanted us to follow this verse. This is the favorite verse of Prabhupada. There are several popular verses in Bhagavad Gita, but this verse, if you follow, you're Krishna conscious completely, because everything, essence is there in this. That's why it said essence of the essence of the essence of the essence. There are 4 times essence. So what is that? So first thing is, Bhagavad Gita itself is essence of all Upanishads. We have studied this long before in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. Sarva Upanishado Gavo Dugda Gopal Nandana Parshad Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Vidam Mahat. That means Krishna, this Bhagavad Gita is like a milk of the cow. I mean, we are actually tasting Gita Amritam Rasamalim. That is basically, the name has come from here. Gita Amritam Rasamalim. So this is basically the Bhagavad Gita itself. Sarva Upanishado Gavo. So it's like a cow. Okay. And this from that everything, Bhagavad Gita is the essence. Sarva Upanishad, then it says that Dugdam Gita Vridam Mahat. So Gita is essence. So Bhagavad Gita is essence of all Upanishads. So that is one essence. Second thing is, this entire section that we are reading, Bhakti Yoga, starts from 7th chapter, it goes up to 12th chapter. So we said in the beginning that from chapters 1 to 6 is Karma Yoga, chapter 13 to 18 is Jnana Yoga, and in between the two, chapter 7 to 12 is sandwiched. What is sandwiched? That is Bhakti Yoga. So there is another essence coming there. So second essence of the essence. And then chapters 9 and 10 is the essence of the Bhakti Yoga section. That means 7 to 12, you come to chapter 9 to 10, they are the essence of the Bhakti Yoga. So therefore, essence of the essence of the essence. And then finally, this verse alone, which is giving us a complete life journey meaning, transformation meaning, is nothing but essence. So therefore, it is the essence of the essence of the essence of the essence. Okay, so we should never forget this, and we should always remember this. So now you see, Prabhupada makes a very interesting statement about this. He says this verse 9.34 is a concise statement of Krishna consciousness, which we have already, we are agreeing to that. It establishes the supreme position of bhakti. Because if we follow these 4 steps, automatically bhakti is bound to come. And if bhakti comes, bhakti purifies all persons whomever we contact. That means, in other words, we become pure, and a pure person can transmit purity to another person. And in that state, we never discriminate between who is qualified and who is not qualified. What a profound statement Prabhupada has made here, isn't it? So, in other words, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is Manmana, Bhava Madbhakto, Madhyaji, Mam Namaskuru. Just these 4 things if we do, then Krishna says, you will automatically come to me. Mam eva yasya yukta vyam. Mam eva yasya yuktva ivam. Atmanam, Mat Parayana, like Narayana Parayana, Vishnu Parayana, will automatically come to him. So now we'll see individually what actually, because it's very easy to understand from the surface level, but as practitioners, as students of Bhagavad Gita, we should go into a little bit more deep dive of this particular meaning of this particular each four steps. So Manmana, so it's like a four-step formula. So Manmana, one second, yeah. So Manmana, Sripad Ramanacharya says, Manmana's meaning is Mai Apara Karunya, Saushila Saundarya, Madhurya Gambirya Audharya Vatsalya, Jalado Nivishtamana Bhava. That means basically it says that the state of heart is a pure consciousness. So real meaning is you have to immerse your mind, this mind, in the seven different oceans of Krishna. So he compares the Krishna to seven different oceans. That means first he says that Karunya, Mayi Apara Karunya. That means Krishna is an ocean of compassion. Then he says Saushilya. Saushalya means Krishna is comparison of good character, good nature. So we should associate with him that way. Saundarya. Saundarya means Krishna is a ocean of beauty. There is nobody who is more beautiful than Krishna. Krishna is Madhurya. Krishna brings an unlimited sweetness. He is a ocean of unlimited sweetness. Krishna is Gambhirya. So Gambhirya is like grave. Krishna is an ocean of gravity. Audharya. So Audharya is Krishna is an ocean of benevolence. Vatsalya. Krishna is giving us the parental love, parental affection. So in that way, we can understand that Krishna is seven oceans, and when our mind is completely immersed in these seven oceans, then what happens is, even if we become Gajendra or we have the Gajendra's mood, Krishna will show the compassion. Or even the real compassion comes for Putana. Putana came to kill. But what Krishna did was, Krishna in turn gave her the liberation and gave her the same planet where she's serving as a mother. Because Krishna took her mood of serving the Lord with her breast milk. That mood Krishna took. And just because she tried to come with an intention of killing Krishna, Krishna killed her. And then demonic nature was killed. Krishna gave her liberation. So that way, Krishna showed the real Karunya. So this Karunya, when it comes in, when we understand these pastimes of the Lord, we should develop this mood also. That this, my mighty Father, is so compassionate that he has given a demoness like Putana so much of compassion. Then what to speak of an ordinary soul? Similarly, when Dhruva Maharaj was told by her stepmother that you cannot, no, by his own mother, that you cannot, I am only one mother for you, but I cannot give any guidance for you, but you should go to the forest where you can find Vishnu, and Vishnu is equal to 10 million mothers, so he'll give you the right guidance. You go to him. 10 million mothers put together, Vishnu. That is what, so this information when Dhruv received also through Narada, his guru, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva mantra was given. He practiced with full faith and he found that. So in this way, manmana should be understood. Then bhava mad bhakto, which bhava mad bhakto is always we should think of Krishna. Always. In whatever activity we are doing, whether we are playing as a child, whether we are going to bed, or whether we are rising from the bed, or whether we are studying, whether we are working in the office, whether we are cooking at home, keep Krishna's photo. Keep reminding ourselves, because our mind will fall. Our mind will momentarily go away from Krishna. Bring that mind back to Krishna. Always think of him. So manmana, mad bhava, we both are taken care. Then madhyaji mam namaskuru. So madhyaji mam namaskuru is go one step further. Every available opportunity when you look at Krishna, bow down to him, worship him, bow down and worship to him. So if we cannot understand that, at least do that to a pure devotee, to a liberated pure Vaishnava like Guru Varga. We serve, we pay obeisance, we worship them. So that way Krishna is pleased. So, Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. In this way, we can understand that. And then, when you do all this, that means hearing about Krishna, chanting his holy name, worshipping him, and then slowly we develop steadiness and purity. In that time, even if we slip, we will have a support to make us get up. So that is bhakti. Krishna will be constantly be with us. There will be no question of that he will leave us alone. By engaging our mind constantly in thinking of the Lord, hmm, or and then becoming his pure devotee, offering obeisance to him, worshipping him. In this way, when we are completely absorbed in the Lord, he says, surely you will come to me. This is the essence, dear devotee. This is bhakti, the yoga essence of everything. Dedicating oneself completely to Krishna, Krishna's devotees. So, bhakti is not about offering something to Krishna, just like that way. That is very low level thinking. But beyond that is bhakti is offering yourself or oneself to Krishna. You see the difference? One thing is I have this possession, I'm giving it to you. I have this, I'm giving this to you. That is good. Yet, but the transformation happens when you say, like Bali Maharaj, I give Krishna myself to you. And many a times we are desiring something from Krishna. Why desire something? Desire Krishna only directly, no. So bhakti is not about desiring something. Bhakti is about desiring Krishna himself directly. So this is the small adjustments we have to make. Hmm? Bhakti is not about desiring about something for ourselves, but directly desire Krishna. So same propensity we are changing. The propensity is to desire. The propensity is to offer, to serve. So we'll do directly. We want to serve Krishna. We want to offer directly we want to offer to Him. Or in the process, our entire self, tan, man, dhan, everything we want to offer. So in this way, this entire four criteria can be fulfilled, and finally we come to the summary of this glories of this bhakti, because it's very important to retain what we have learned, because it slips out, then it's gone. Then again, it will take some time, costless mercy for it to come. So in this way, Krishna does two good things for us. He protects what we have, that is if we are practicing bhakti, and then he provides what we lack. Yogakshemam Vamyam. This is the first lesson we are getting summary wise. Second thing is what qualification. See, bhakti can be performed by anybody. No, don't need any pure qualification. It can be performed even by those who are not pure at heart. Yat karoshi, yat asnasi. Krishna says it 9.27. Whatever you do, you offer it to me. Whatever you want to eat, asnasi. You eat after offering to me. Then third point, deviation, even if there is some accidental fall down or some sin is performed, not to worry. Bhakti is so pure, bhakti will redeem you. At home, the representation of bhakti is Tulsi Maharani. So keep Tulsi wherever we are, especially while chanting. Circumambulate Tulsi Maharani 4 times. Offer gel to Tulsi. Touch her lotus feet, and please pray by keeping the lotus feet on the top of the head. And so that way, what happens? We will not be deviated, because bhakti will be very strong. She will protect us from accidental bhakti, accidental deviation. Then material qualification. Bhakti can uplift us. So that means sometimes we are still in the karma marg, we are doing the path of our activities. Like we are the doers, we are the enjoyers. So such marg also can be uplifted by transforming it to Krishna. So we don't need that. Or any other status. Sriyo, Vaishnas, Tata, Shudras. Any of the status, that also will be excused. Nothing. Just we have to serve Krishna. All the faults will be removed. So the aim, bhakti is not about offering to Krishna, but it's about offering oneself to Krishna. That's the aim. And the result is bhakti is not about desiring something from Krishna. It's about desiring and attaining Krishna himself. So it's like Prabhupada made, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Similarly, this also you can put in the dashboard. Bhakti is not about offering to Krishna, but about offering oneself to Krishna. Bhakti is not about desiring something for Krishna, but desiring attaining Krishna himself. Atma mat parayanaha. Atmanam mat parayanaha. So in this way, we understand that I've taken a lot of time today, but it's okay. We have had a good session today, and important aspects were covered about the bhakti aspect of the bhakti yoga. And so, with that, we conclude.